Dear friend, now we will see the basic type of interference, that is constructive and destructive interference. But before going to that, we will understand that in which condition there will be a constructive interference and in which condition there will be a destructive interference. To understand this phenomena, let us consider that suppose source 1 producing some wave that is shown over here with a red color and moving with a wave that is y1, and it is indicated by a cos omega t. So this will be your equation 1, and in which we have explained that y1 is a wave that is emerging from source S1 and going to the Q. In the same way, if we consider that wave emerging from source 2 is indicated by, that is, a cos omega t plus phi, that here phi is a phase difference between these two conditions. So here that omega t plus phi is the phase difference term, and that is shown over, that is two waves have phase difference of phi with respect to each other. Now suppose we say that they superpose or superimpose at point Q. So at point Q, what will be the resultant value? So at point Q, if we consider that they superimpose, and if we get the resultant wave that is equals to y, we can say that y is equals to y1 plus y2. Now on the basis of that, we can say now a cos omega t plus a cos omega t plus phi. Now here we can say that is a, and we have the equation of c plus c, that is cos omega t plus cos omega t plus phi, that we can represent over here, so that the equation 2c plus c indicate the equation that is 2cc. So here we can compare it with that equation and get the answer, that is a 2 cos omega t plus omega t plus phi divided by 2. So it will give us the value cos phi by 2 into cos 2 omega t plus phi by 2, that is omega t plus phi by 2. So this can be compared with the equation, that is cos a into plus cos b, that can be given by 2 cos a minus b by 2 and into cos a plus b by 2. So this is the rule that we have used over here in the above portion, that we have used this relation for this y1 and y2 term. Now what will be the next, that we can move further. So here with the condition over that, we can say that the amplitude of the resultant displacement in the above equation, we can simplify that equation, that y is equals to 2a cos phi by 2, that is the term of amplitude, into cos omega t plus phi by 2. Here the term that is 2a into cos phi by 2 is known as a term of amplitude, and here we can say that this is amplitude and the intensity of that point will be, if we represent it as, we can say that if we compare it with the intensity term, we can say that I is equals to 4I0 cos square phi by 2 for this equation, because we know that intensity is proportional to amplitude square. So at this point the intensity will be indicated by the equation that is 4I0 square cos square phi by 2. Now these two equations, that means here we can say that the equation, I give them number, suppose equation A, and this is our equation B. Now we can have the condition for them that suppose they have phase difference in the term, that is if phi is say 0 plus or minus 2 pi plus or minus 4 pi and so on, that gives us the condition for the constructive interference. So that is called the constructive interference. And what does that mean? That gives us constructive interference. Now what is this constructive interference? So we can simply consider that figure above. Now suppose we go with another way, the same question. If we say that, if say S1 and this is suppose S2 as shown earlier, they are superposing at point Q, suppose the equation for S1 suppose is indicated by 7 lambda, the equation for the Q for this condition is given by suppose 9 lambda, then here we can say that 1 lambda is obviously, as it is considered normally as a one wave and having 2 pi radian difference. So here if we go with this term, we can have that both the equation, that is S2q minus S1q is 2 lambda, but 1 lambda that belongs to as a 2 pi radian. So here this equation when represented with the term, we can have y1 is equals to a cos omega t, while y2 will be a cos omega t minus 2 lambda belongs to 4 pi, so that will be a 4 pi difference, that is again a cos omega t. So now when we get the y as a resultant for the superposition principle over here, we can have the maximum intensity at that point. We use the fact that path difference 2 lambda correspond to the phase difference of 4 pi. Now the two displacements are once again in phase and the intensity will again be a 4I0, giving rise to constructive interference. In the above analysis, we have assumed that the distance S1q and S2q in the above are much greater than the distance d. So here we have already considered that distance d is very small. So that assumption is to be kept over here. that D is, here we say that D is very much less than S1Q, and D is also very much less than S2Q. So we can say that even though S1Q and S2Q are not same, but S1Q are similar to the S2Q. So they are having very nearby value to each other. Now, on the basis of that, if we go with the condition, we can say that if we have two coherent sources S1 and S2 vibrating in phase, then an arbitrary point P, whenever the path difference S1P minus S2P, or the path difference is about, we can say that is S1Q to S2Q is about n lambda, where n belongs to 0, 1, 2, etc., we will always get constructive interference, and the resultant intensity will be 4I0. Now the sign that I have shown here, this sign between S1Q and S2Q represent the difference between S1Q and S2P. Now if we move further, that for the condition of destructive interference, then again we will go to the above figure. For that y1 and y2, we have the condition for y1 and y2 in a such manner that their equation will follow a particular formation of the condition of interference. So they are the coherent sources and they are vibrating. When this condition is said, suppose they are in the condition if phi for the condition belongs to plus or minus pi, plus or minus 3 pi, plus or minus 5 pi, and so on, this correspond to the condition we have the destructive interference and leading to the zero intensity in the question. So if we say again, now for the equation A and B, for the equation A and B, if we have the condition for the destructive interference, so I can go with the term destructive interference. What it means, that is in equation A and in equation B, suppose phi is corresponding to the value plus or minus pi, plus or minus 3 pi, plus or minus 5 pi, etc., in the term that is corresponding to the condition of the new equation that leads us to the condition that S1Q and S2Q to the equation that is n plus 1 by 2 lambda condition. This gives us the destructive interference again with the n, that is 0, 1, 2, etc., in the given condition. So here again, if we say that we are having two sources in the condition, if we say this is my source 1, this is say source 2 is somewhere here, again the distance between them is negligible. I say this is point Q. Now wave is moving from S emerging from S1 Q. Another wave is also emerging from S2 to Q. Now the distance B is again very small. So here we have again considered that d is very small with respect to S1 cube and d is very less than with respect to S2 cube. In this condition, suppose we consider that S1 cube is about 7.25 lambda and S2Q is about 9.75 lambda. This is just the assumption that what we want to derive here, that we can say that S2Q minus S1Q is about 2.5 lambda. So it is so that if they are having path difference of 2.5 lambda, that will corresponding by the equation that we can show over here with the condition y1, again it is given by a cos omega t suppose, and y2 is now given by say a cos omega t minus 5 pi. So it can be again a cos omega t with minus sign. So here, or we can say that if we represent that above equation as a minus, then this will be negative to that. So suppose we consider y1 as a negative, y2 as a positive. So here it will give us the condition that y1 plus y2, that will be 0. So the resultant that we will obtain over here, that will be 0. Here we have used the condition that the path difference between them is 2.5 lambda, and that corresponds to where we have used the fact, and it is considering as a condition of destructive interference. Here surely we can understand the condition. Case with our term of intensity, but in the condition of whether it is non-coherent sources. As we have earlier stated that if two sources are coherent, then they produces some effect. Now the condition for non-coherent sources. Now again, for this case also we can consider the equation of intensity and amplitude in the term same, that is I is equals to 4I0 cos square phi by 2, because that is the term for related to our amplitude. Now in the case of non-coherent sources, so we can say that for non-coherent sources, what we can do now, see carefully, that suppose we have two needles and they are going up and down regularly, then we consider that is coherent source, because the phase difference, whether there will be a 0 or a same. But then we say that suppose these two sources are moving up and down and having some different phase difference, that is if we have stable interference pattern, suppose we want stable interference patterns, then we have the coherent sources with same phase differences, or we can say that at any point there will be no change in phase difference with time, and then it will produce stable interference pattern. But that means what? That means that the maxima and the minima will not change with time in that interference pattern. That means whether you are getting some dark portion let me tell you the case with one simple example. Say here I am considering one wavefront in the condition like this. At the same time, I consider another wavefront that is emerging from this small light with blue color. I explain it with this condition. Now, wherever the condition of interference is taking place, say here, here, here. For our example, we are considering it over there, here, 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 and here. This is one example. So, in all this case, whatever pattern are formed once remains as it is. So we have to be careful and consider that if we are having the constructive interference at a point, it will remain the constructive interference, and if we have destructive interference at any point, it will remain destructive interference and it will not change with time. But again, the condition is it should be coherent sources. But as we are talking about non-coherent sources, if we consider that non-coherent sources are there, then this pattern will not remain stable and maxima and minima will have change. However, the interference pattern will also change with time and phase, and very rapidly with time in actual. So in actual, both the needles situated at 1 and 2 are moving with a difference pattern. Then what will be the condition? Here, that condition is considered for the non-coherency, and in that condition, the position of maxima and minima will also vary rapidly with time and will see a time average intensity distribution. When this happens, we observe an average intensity that will be given by the equation, that is 4I0, and in the average term, that is intensity. I will show you it later. So now we will take an equation that is given by average of intensity I, that I can say that equation, that is 4I0 cos square phi by 2, that is the condition. Now in this case we can have 4I0 cos square phi by 2 as the condition varies. Now here we can say that the value of mean or averaging of cos square phi by 2, that where angular brackets represent time averaging. Indeed, it is shown in chapter number 7 that if a function varies randomly with time, the time average quantity, that is cos square phi by 2, will be 1 by 2. So here we can say that cos square phi by 2 will be 1 by 2. So this is also intuitively obvious because the function cos square phi by 2 will randomly vary between 0 and 1, and the averaging value will be 1 by 2. So that is also that can be considered, and therefore when we take this averaging of this intensity, we can have the condition, that is 4I0 into 1 by 2. That will be, we can say now that resultant intensity will be represented by 2I0. So that is the case we have. Now when the phase difference between two vibrating sources changes rapidly with time, we can say that the two sources are incoherent, and when this happens, the intensities just add up. That means that cos square term gives us that averaging value, and this is indeed when happens when two separate light sources illuminate a wall. So this is the case when interference of constructive and destructive type of interference we have studied. And if we say that if the sources are incoherent or non-coherent and they are changing rapidly with time, their intensity will just add up as per as their normal intensity, and this is the case of superposition principle. Now on the basis of that, we have new example and experiment that is called Young experiment for the interference, that was very well established by Thomas Young, who was English physicist, and he worked on a wide variety of scientific problems ranging from structure of eye and mechanism of vision to the decipherment of Rosetta Stone. He revived the wave theory of light and recognized that interference phenomena provided proof of the wave properties of light, that we will discuss in the next session.